Hey everybody, here again another one. Today, here with my friend again. We're gonna watch Casual Geographic, The Animal Not Safe for School. So, I
Hey
mean,
y'all.
what? Yeah, how long's that list exactly? Because I can name about a good 10 that I would not want near me in a school
Yeah,
setting. But hey,
I'm like the animal nerd
yes,
friend, I guess. So,
she'll adopt
you know,
tigers if
I'm
they are kind enough to not kill her.
hey, listen, no, I would not adopt tigers because I respect wildlife existing where it is, Some things would not make good domesticated pets. They belong in the wild.
Didn't you tell me
That
you'd
said,
steal cats off the streets?
listen, they're already domesticated. So, also, I would not steal a cat that was
Also,
already
you said you
owned.
wanted baby lions at one point. And let me not
I
forget the
said
tiger from Zootopia incident. I'm never gonna let you live that down, I'm sorry.
you cannot just say that and not give context.
Dude, there's all the oh, sorry, what? Nah, do the thing.
Here, bro.
Yep.
Got gas numbers that you make up.
Roommate or family member or something.
Oh, spring. Man, get robbed.
Yeah.
Let you know.
Yeah, I heard y'all talking good stuff.
Next turn.
Yeah. But yeah, context. Basically, you know those lions from Zootopia, the stripper lions? Well, me and her randomly, for some reason, did like a smash or pass thing on the computer. And like, I think it was like what was it? Like a science class?
Yeah, I think so. Was it forensics? I think that's the class we had together, right?
Yeah. And then like, when we did it, we came across this in the context of like yeah. No, I don't think that's a different looking one. It was this one right here.
I thought it was the one on the bus.
No, it was this one. The one that was only wearing a thong, dang near.
Are you sure?
Yes. That's probably just him with clothes on. That's probably just him heading to his shift. Yeah, and that's the context. Does that make it any better? Yes or no?
Listen, everyone gets one furry. Everyone gets one furry pass.
This is not Spider-Man from Family Guy. This is not everyone gets one. We are not doing this, Carol. This is not everyone gets one, okay? Anyway, let's just get into this video.
Investing, taxes, and a ferocious hidden penis. Three
What?
things school ain't teach you enough
What?
about.
You can't
And
just start off with that in the first
this
5
isn't a
seconds.
finance channel. Of course, we're talking about the final boss of Facas, the maligned weasel, one could say measle of Madagascar, the Fusa. And with that, there's two types of people.
Wow.
Those that have
Fusa.
never perceived this rough draft cat, and those that never would have if Jada's will would have rocked Chris and left him with Fresh Prince before they did 2 movies. And that might
Wow,
be
they
because
did
putting
3.
the Fusa on a lesson plan would mean explaining to a room full of children that concealed poop shoot is their actual name. Cryptoprocta ferox is their scientific tag, where ferox
Oh.
means fierce or ferocious, and
Alright.
Cryptoprocta refers to the Fusa's anus being hidden from the public. Fusas use scent glands
Wait,
to
why
mark their
that specifically?
territory, and these glands are found in the anal
I'm
pouch.
guessing
And
because-
this anal pouch
Yeah,
is
they
like a
have the
modesty
pouch.
garment for their brown balloon
Oh,
knot.
okay,
That
then.
modesty got rewarded with the scientists immortalizing the big
ball
bad of
shot is
Madagascar
insane.
by its forbidden Fruit Loop.
I mean,
At
you
least they're not
can't
alone.
avoid it, but
They
it's
could always
like-
start a support group with a platypus. The name almost becomes purposefully provocative when you realize there is one whole, no pun intended, genus named Fusa.
Why?
This Fusa genus has one living member, and it's not the Fusa, cause screw them, that's why. It's actually the, to be fair, closely related Malagasy civet. But the fact is, a dope-ass scientific name like Fusa fasana went to the civet, but the actual Fusa got stuck with missing butt muzzle. That's not the last or worst way they get screwed by their own anatomy. I think you know what's coming, but we'll get to that. Maybe the name refers to how much of a pain in the prostate figuring out what this beta-tested big cat actually was. The Fusa was first described in 1833, where they were put
They
in the
look like
viverrid
fancy
family. Not a
cats,
vivid ferret,
almost.
although I wouldn't blame you, but a
Yeah,
family
they
that
kinda
has
look
the
like-
pea
what are
smells
those
buttered
called? Like
popcorn
the
binturong,
Oriental
along with
short
civets
hairs?
and genets.
Yes.
In 1939, they were moved to a subfamily Infelidae, because folks were really sold on it being a cat. In 1945, a change of heart put incognito back
Now
with
it looks
the
kinda like a
variants.
weasel
Almost
a
50 years
little bit.
later in 93,
Yeah,
It's
I see
weird.
the weasel more.
The DNA
It's like a cat, weasel, and like somewhat of a dog
but it only
in
took
one
2
animal.
years for someone to try to argue them back with the cats and family Felidae. An animal that hides its seat lips in a family of felines that flash it like ID should have told him Methuselah was the imposter.
No.
And eventually something did, and they
That
were
is
put in the
unfortunate.
Eupluridae family in 2003. It took almost 200 years to ascertain what this unhinged roid weasel was. That still begs the question, what exactly is a Fusa? That question takes way too much time to answer, and it's probably why most schools don't even bother. So obviously I'm gonna try to do it in a minute with no teaching degree.
Did you take a class that like explained animals to you? I mean, we took like probably like biology, but it didn't really talk to us about every animal for real.
Yeah, I mean, like in elementary school, they would have like a lot of stuff related to like animals, but like that's the
But that's
closest
just
I can think.
yeah, but that's just to know like their names and correlations to what it is, and we don't really know like the famous ones, not like every subcategory.
Yeah, you kind of had to do like the reading on your own time, which, I was always watching like the David Attenborough documentaries.
Okay, that's fair.
So, with Order Carnivora, there's
Remember
basically
that one
two
cartoon
teams,
where it was
Team
like
Cat
animals,
and
but like
Team
their
Dog.
names
Team
were
Dog,
their bodies?
Caniformia, is basically all the animals you think are
Um,
dogs, and you got your pinnipeds, the
not
raccoon
not a
family,
lot.
your bears,
Which
and the
which one
weasel
are you
family,
talking about?
aka
Like Fox
Like
for a
it
second?
was like and it's like a show, right? It was like a PBS Kids, I think, where like animals
Yeah.
were like imagine like like the word dog. It was a dog. Like it was like a cartoon dog, but the word dog was spelled
Oh,
out as its body.
oh yeah, I remember what you mean now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that. I don't remember
yeah,
it too well, but I know it exists, and that's what kind of what that reminds me of.
yeah. For a
animals that
second, I
think they're
thought you were
bears.
talking
Team
about like
Cat,
wild
Feliform
kratts.
are,
That
well,
was my
cats,
famous thing.
hyenas,
I
and the
loved wild
Okay.
mongooses.
kratts.
The Fusa
Yeah, I've
is on the
seen that
Feliform
one.
side, and their family Eupleridae is full of animals you've never seen before. If you
All
can name
things this
this,
woman
you're
would
either
adopt without
lying or
hesitation.
you're better than me. The Fusa family shares a common ancestor with the mongoose mafia.
I'm not letting you
Herpestidae,
go in this
and both
video,
of
I'm
them
sorry.
are distant cousins with the hyena family. So even though I'm pretty sure I called it a weasel twice, they're actually on opposite sides. In fact, when you think about it, mongooses are the
Listen, if it
weasels
was
of cats,
ethical to
and
adopt them,
weasels
I
are the
would.
mongooses of
However,
dogs.
it's not really
Eupleridae
possible.
has
So,
other
you
Madagascar
just enjoy
predators
them
you've
in the
never heard of
wild
because King
or on
Julian didn't scream their
reservations
name
and
loud
stuff.
enough. They
Wow.
include 6 types of Bonceras, like this ring-tailed right
Oh
here,
my god,
and
it's
also
so
mongoose
cute.
members like the brown-tailed and the broad-striped. But like I said, the closest living relative of the Fusa is the Malagasy civet that snatched its chain and took his name. But best believe
Dang.
the Fusa gets the last word. So what is a Fusa? The Fusa is an overgrown steroid mongoose civet understudy built like a
Oh,
time
no.
cougar with the same cursed
Got
anatomy of a
hops.
hyena. Nothing about animal casserole is straightforward. Even their name had to be an argument. Anyone who had a childhood like mine would pronounce it the same way I've been doing. But if you follow that Attenborough rule, Sir David would have had you saying Fossa. What if I told you both are technically
See?
wrong? Because their
See?
name comes from the
Wow.
original Malagasy
Don't
word.
act like this is a win for you.
Listen. I have been watching those documentaries, so of course I'm going to pronounce it the way David Attenborough pronounces it. So, awesome.
Really, the correct way
Exactly.
to say it is foosh, 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 like foosh with a performance anxiety at the end. Experts feel free to correct me, but apparently that is the closest to the OG Malagasy pronunciation. It's just that the global game of telephone has Americans saying Fusa, while England pronounces it as Fossa. So if your point of reference is the movie, it's Fusa. If it's Sir Attenborough or
I've
the
seen
Wild
Madagascar in
Thornberrys,
a long
it's Fossa.
time.
And if you want to feel better than everyone, it's Foosh. Now, another reason the Foosh is blacklisted from the curriculum is not just because depending on where you are, they can be thousands of miles and oceans away, but the entirety of your Eupleridae is endangered, and if they're not, they're endangered of being endangered. What does that mean to you? Well, it could mean a lot. You never know what cures nature could be hiding, or where. Scientists once studied the antibodies
so
in
cool.
llamas in hopes of curing the big cough of 2020, and many believe this moss carpet's fur may contain the key against malaria. But beyond that, losing life over there could hit your pockets here. Deforestation is the biggest reason for the flatlining of Fusa and friends, and according to this article, the same
Fusa.
arborcidal activities can cause extreme weather that can lead to the jacking up of food prices. So yeah,
Oh,
something
here's
happening
the,
a world away can come
here-
back to
here's the
bite you in the
sponsorship.
wallet, and you might not even realize it until
is
you're
this
forced
actually-
to finance a carton of eggs. That's honestly
Yeah,
why
this
I
is
feel pretty good
definitely
about
like
working
the-
with
Yep.
groundhoppers and design, and it paints exactly things.
I was like,
Anyway,
that's a
if we
segue if I've
$5
ever
month
heard
don't
one.
matter, I'm flexible. Make sure you leave. Speaking on their name, we low-key don't even spell it right. The original Malagasy name is Fuchsia with one S. Apparently colonizers saw that
I'm
and were
not
having
fighting
none of it.
nothing that
Also, we
big
don't
that
know
has
exactly
hops
where
like
the name
that.
comes from, but the theory is in languages like Tagalog, Pusha
How large
means
is it
cat,
anyway?
and in Iban, Posa
It
might
almost
also
looked like a
refer to
small
Malayan
bear,
weasel.
almost.
So I can only guess that something happened where they were like, well, this thing
Either
looks
way,
like a
it's-
cat, but could also pass
It's
for
not
a
that
weasel.
bigger than
We
like a
call both
Wolverine,
Pusha.
and those
So
things
the
fight
logical
bears
name
for the
is
love of the game.
Fuchsia. because being a
Oh,
Fusa
that
means
is
being
true,
defined by
yeah.
how close you are to being something else, which is actually their origin. Fusa are a cat's nature tried redrawing strictly from memory, and I'm not even kidding. You ever wonder how they got there in the first place? The aggressive absentness is believed to have spawned from a common ancestor about 20 million years ago, except Madagascar physically divorced from the subcontinent of India 80 million some years ago. How
Wow.
did the Fush get loose on Madagascar? There's a couple theories, and the predominant one is that their ancestors rafted on floating vegetation, about 250 miles across the Mozambique Channel. A
I would
trip that
love
would
to
have
visit
lasted a little
Madagascar
over a
one
month.
day.
Really, the Fusa just proves how
Is there
much nature
anything
cooked
like,
with
is there
cats.
civilization there?
Basically,
Gotta
had
be,
an
right?
oversized meerkat spawn on an island with no big
don't
cat
know.
apex predator.
I've only
So
played
the
I mean,
Madagascar.
Madagascar
imagine, but-
became one. The end game of evolving the perfect.
The only bit of
machine with
Madagascar I've
milk is
seen is from the
apparently
movie,
cat.
and
Fusas
I don't know
aren't
anything
bad,
else
but
that was
these Fusas
there.
Apex is this
Dang,
was a
did you
reasonable
see
crash
that
out.
thing
They might
snatch
look
that
cute
out
to
of the
us,
air?
but this is the Reaper
Wait,
to
let me go back. I was talking about
the end
Madagascar.
game of evolving the perfect merc machine with milk is
Oh,
apparently
nah.
a cat.
He literally played the Mario sound effects. Bro, that
Crack
that
that out of
poor,
the air.
that poor bird probably just got put into there for a test run and got jumped. He thought he was saved. He thought he had the height advantage.
Fusas aren't that, but these Fusas Apex is This was a reasonable crash out. They might look cute to us, but this is the Reaper to the Madagascar population. Nature didn't stop at retractable claws. They have ankles that can almost turn backwards, meaning they can move through the trees like a homicidal squirrel. It's not enough that they'll
You
hold
see?
down on
Up
land
and
or a
down.
tree, but they'll often tag team prey with one Fus chasing prey through the trees, weaponizing predatory parkour to force them on the ground, where Fusa number 2 hawks them down. The entire jungle is food to a Fusa, even their closest cousin. There was an actual problem where researchers were trying to study the Malagasy civet, but Fusas kept following trap lines and eating the captured animals. Fusa move on their own time,
Dang.
literally. They're cathemral, meaning they're active whenever they feel like. There's no combination of numbers on a clock when a Fusa can't strike.
Oh,
You
cool.
see? He literally said they'll do it for the love of the game. They will and will not. It's 50-50 on whether or not they will kill you, Carol.
It's also apparently 50-50 on like when they decide to stay awake. Imagine you
Ex-
just have like the jerk Fusa that's just like, I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. specifically.
To catch the most easiest prey of my life.
Which is why their main
Imagine the
personality trait is
zoomies of a
inflicting
Fusa.
primal panic in lemurs.
Oh
Not
my
only is half
gosh.
their diet lemur meat, they'll straight up rip sleeping lemurs out of napping spots. They tell stories about the Fusa. This is their Freddy Cougar.
Oh my
That
gosh,
is one
look at how
bad
he looks.
motherfucker.
He looks like a
She-Fox.
crack addict.
That is a Shifaka.
Yeah.
They're named after the sound they make in the face of a Fusa. Oh shit, fuck. Because Fusa will eviscerate them, with scientists finding Fakas life deprived with their intestines ripped out. Fusa will flatline anything lemur.
It's
even
weird,
the ones
'cause they
weighing
look like
nearly as much
cats
as
that
they
got,
do.
like,
You think they give a
stretched
Faka?
out.
No, they take them straight off the
Yeah.
senses. Shifaka, Hifaka, Yufaka, in a Fusa's eyes, anyone can get it. Millions of years being marooned on an island does things to you, and one of the consequences is Fusas do something no other mammal
Okay, those
does.
Oh
kind
my
of like
gosh,
rats
they're so
almost.
For educational purposes,
adorable.
that being said, it might just be time to put the kids to bed. Fusas can't change from girls to guys, but boy do they do everything to convince you otherwise. Fusa go through transient masculinization, where they develop the same pseudo situation hyenas got. Except with them,
Is
it
that like the
involves a young
clownfish
female
thing?
Fusa flitteris growing large enough and spiky enough to make them anatomically
Well, not exactly.
identical
Pause
to
for a second.
Yeah, they're like the clownfish
So
thing, where,
the
like the dad
transit-
will. Huh?
The
Sorry.
transient masculinization thing that he's talking about is more of like developing masculinized features but still staying of like the female sex. Meanwhile, clownfish, it's a genuine like
Like,
sex change like
literally.
at the genetic level. Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I get you. Okay, I was trying to get that like
male. They'll even release the
straightened
same
up.
musky orange product males do. The difference is, where hyenas have to pass kids
Dang.
like a kidney stone, eventually the Fusa's baby-making business end goes back to normal. But for a time, you really can't tell male from female. And that might just be the point. There's some things about this freak-off ferret that makes being
Bro,
young,
just
female,
chilling for
and
real.
Fusa the
Laying back
worst
like he got
combination.
done putting in
Female
work.
Fusas are highly territorial, because they'll make love in the same tree
Oh, dang.
year after year.
Not
call
in
it
the
tree of life.
not in the
and Fusa
trees.
foreplay involves the female sitting high up in the tree, with starving males
We're gonna
down
get
below competing for her
demonetized.
time. Now the thing with Fusas is, the female will spend
Bro, could you imagine? Literally the definition of a sitting duck. The living definition of literally waiting in the trees to get back shots by whoever manages to get up there first. Is that what this man just told me? That's what I just heard. Basically, is what he just said. Like, did you hear him?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what he just
nearly a
said.
week in the tree, where she'll be visited by several males. 4, 5,
Oh,
sometimes
several,
6, 7.
Jesus.
Some yellow lights don't get ran through that much, and there is no honor system.
Oh,
Males
no.
will often climb up the tree to shoot their shot, while the female's already physically occupied by another. So yeah, it's a Fusa freak-off free-for-all. Imagine the ones from the
Screenshot is
movie, but instead
crazy.
of feeding for food, they desperately fall over each other trying to make a baby mother, which might explain the gender bending. Young females can get put
Lord.
on a shirt by an
So
older
violent.
vindictive female and put in a hearse by a horde of hormonal males. This can really be a problem since apparently males can't tell when a female is ovulating, so they just keep trying. Which could kill an inexperienced female cause,
Dang.
well, they're not the only ones with some nonsense in the nethers. Fusas hold a world record, and that's having the largest penis relative
It's
to
the
body
fact
size
that
of
he's
any
showing
mammal.
the-
They somehow beat out
the
the table,
footage.
and I've seen one
That
used
gets
as a
me every
tripod and a
time.
back scratcher. But I guess a 30-inch animal dragging a nearly 8-inch nectar dispenser is notable. Educational
glad-
purposes.
okay,
now-
The sheer core of
now he
competition
censors
is
it.
why Fusas are hung like an adolescent donkey. They also have a baculum, which is a bone to allow the male to stay in the game as long as
Poor
possible,
guys.
even when the coach, other players, and even ref want him out. And not only that, they also have
So they have
backward-facing
built-in
spines on their
Viagra?
procreation pickle, which makes retraction not impossible, but incredibly uncomfortable to watch. Can't even imagine how that feels. Or maybe I just
That's
don't
gotta
want
be
to.
awful.
We probably wouldn't even know all this if they weren't so damn loud about it. It's also hard to miss that females can put in 14-hour shifts in one day with multiple males. Or
Oh
sometimes
my
just
gosh.
one. Not only will a Fusa couple go at it for
14
hours, they can spend
hours
an
is
extra one
actually
stuck in the
insane.
same
This-
physical tie dogs get caught in. Of course, this means nothing to the competition, with researchers witnessing females having to chase off males while still attached cat dog style to their last body. And sometimes multiple rivals
my
climb the
gosh.
tree to fight the male while he's still baculum deep. It's straight player hating, and why Fusas do it at the very tops of the trees, like a Triskel trapeze. Some males will even play defense by guarding the female hours
Bro,
after
watching
they
this
mate,
is
especially
insane.
if that male got
Like, he
interrupted.
literally
The
turned
couple can
around to
even
be like,
injure
"What are you
themselves, and
doing?"
there's a non-zero chance the male falls and
The
breaks his
circle of
baculum. It's an
life.
entirely unpleasant
Don't
process
you
from start
dare
to
sing
finish,
that
and if I have to
song.
know that, you do too. And if you unclick for that, I wouldn't blame you. But really makes you look at these guys different. And when your own conception is that demon-esque, unfortunately, it's no surprise when they get treated like one. In Malagasy culture, there's something called fadi.
Okay, there
My
are people
understanding
here.
is
I don't know
fadi
why I
was
is a
surprised.
spiritual
Yeah.
beliefs Malagasy people
I mean,
have
people
to be
are
people there.
almost
cultural
everywhere.
taboos ingrained into
Yeah.
their society. For example, eating with a hat on, considered fadi, and the punishment is baldness. Eating while standing is fadi,
Oh.
and the penalty could be famine. There's hundreds of examples of fadi, and one of them actually protects the fush. It's said that Fusas will feed on the long-expired bodies of ancestors buried in the forest, making it fadi to eat Fusa meat. But Fusa have some other freaky folklore about them, like one
Oh,
that says they
Lord.
crawl out the forest at night to steal babies straight out the cradle. Another
Dang.
legend tells of Fushis licking a sleeping person to put them in an unbreakable trance so they can disembowel them. Another says the Fusas
You see? You sleep with one of these things one night in your little cat crib, this thing will lick you into death.
Hey,
They
you
make you
said
feel
that
all
it's a
safe.
legend.
It'll make you feel so safe, and then it'll nibble on those few bits of meat you have on your bones, Carol. Do you want this for real?
Again, I said I'd only want the ones that can be ethically domesticated. You can't do that with this one. It's a wild animal.
He
That
said
being
they.
said,
He
that
was
that
he
being
wasn't
said,
specific. He's mentioned the species, not just the specific animal.
that being said, if I got the opportunity to pet one, I would.
And you might or may not leave with your own head.
smell is enough to drop
That's all I'm
chickens dead
saying.
on the
That's
spot.
all I'm
Literally
saying.
instant death through
That's the risk you
mustiness.
take.
Yeah, lemurs aren't the only things with thumbs that don't think much of the afterpick of an anti-drug PSA for predators. But of course, the Madagascar murder mongoose is almost zero threat to humans. To a lemur, that's a death threat, but to humans, they're just overly ambitious raccoons.
You heard what he
Compare
said.
that to the absolute
Wow.
number
I'm
done on
still
the
not
cryptic
trusting it.
chocolate Cheerio by man, and it's no matchup. If they're not actively getting
But look at
screwed
that
up by
big
property
nose.
development,
It's always the
Fusa
cute
get
ones that'll
flatlined
do
in
you the worst of
retaliation for
ways,
preying
I'm
on
telling you.
poultry. Not to mention, many will defy fatty, as in up to half of all Malagasy communities, Fusa flesh is regularly eaten. Honestly, Madagascar as
What
a
am I
whole
hearing
is
in my
danger,
headphones?
with over 90% of her forests
But
already
apparently
gone.
that's what
And
they
keep in
sound like.
mind,
They just
many
sound like
like the
they're
Fusa are
moving
only found on the Big
constantly.
Red Island.
Exactly.
So once they're
Concerning.
gone from there, they're gone for good. Better appreciate it while it's still here, and who knows, maybe I'll take a trip down there. No promises though, I've already made too many. But as for later, for now, drink water, hug your mother, spread the Fusa word. If school won't, we will. Touch grass, call your
We
father,
will,
and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You got any words to say about all this?
I don't know. I always enjoy learning about animals. Only problem with Casual Geographic, he's given dolphins a bad name. They don't deserve all the hate they get. I'm
They're
gonna be
the
honest.
Ditties of the sea. I'm not getting attacked
They are
by.
not. Y'all
I've
don't
seen-
understand.
Have you seen
Y'all
that
don't
one King of the?
understand.
Have you seen that King of
Y'all-
the Hill episode with Hank in the fish tank?
No, I have not, but that sounds really, really funny. I love King of the Hill.
Have you not? Hold on. Let me play this. I'm gonna probably cut this out of the video, but let me show her real quick. Hold on. Do you see this? Look at this.
How's this?
Well, that is perfect. No, wait. One with the flash, just to be safe.
Excuse
He's traumatized. Do you see?
I love King of the Hill. Okay. Time for the genuine dolphin rant.
Yes, please.
Because, listen, I feel like people. Okay, so from childhood, I was always, team sharks are not that bad, right? And I also really love dolphins. They got a good reputation in the in the documentaries. But because I was watching so many documentaries, I also saw like the weird side of some of the craft that they do, and I still liked them. Know why? Because they still have like so much intelligence and so many societies and like empathy and all this other stuff that's missing from other animals. They were kind of like almost like the wolves of the sea, if that makes sense. Like they have
They
these
stick
pack
their
dynamics.
dongs in the mouths of dead fish.
Yeah, but like that's the thing that like most animals do, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Like most of the stuff that like people say that like is so terrible about dolphins is only terrible because we're like trying to put human standards on them. And like meanwhile, you don't see people putting that on like other intelligent animals. Like have you seen the crap that lions do? Like
Put them on lions. Any animal that does this, it is just weird regardless. Sticking
Yeah,
it
like,
in a
at
dead animal's mouth is just terrible.
yeah, like at least you're consistent about it. Like you'll anthropomorphize
Like if-
anything.
Like if I knew something would do that, I'm not going near it.
Yeah.
Because
Thing
what's
is-
to say you won't do that to me? You're already about to eat me alive. I'm not adding that on top of my dead corpse. Like imagine they
Thing
find
is-
my body and they find something inside me that
Good
was
thing
not
about the
supposed to be
dolphins,
there.
though, is that they don't even know how humans work. So not only would they not do that, like the only example that I've ever seen people pull up was like one of a dolphin that was literally trained to act inappropriate, and like in that case, the dolphin's the victim. Like it wouldn't do that in the wild. That was just humans being freaky and like putting it on a dolphin, and it's like, why would you do that in the first place? Like y'all are just,
Everything
like,
that walks among this
they
earth
are
is just
being horrible to animals.
every species that has existed has always had its freaks in the wild. Let's just be real here.
Yeah.
Like we
Like, I mean, the
literally have.
wild-
There's literally sounds animals will make that will make others fly to them just to smash. Let's be so for real. Like mating calls.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's basically just the same thing as like getting like one of those like texts from someone,
like I'm
like,
like,
hey, with
get a
like 4
text at-
Ys.
you get a text at 3 a.m. You up? Then you drive down the road at 90 miles per hour. Just everything
It's
on this
literally
earth
just
has
the-
had its mating call.
Yeah, it's like the my parents aren't home of the wild.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, if not, no, I'm done. Honestly, let's just. Yeah, honestly, everyone. Hope you have a good day. God bless.